What is a process? A process is a linked set of activities that are designed to provide a product or service for customers within or external to the organization. One reason people often struggle to accept the fact that they personally own one or more processes is based in the reality that many people do not understand what a process is. In general, a process involves using one or more steps to convert one or more inputs into one or more outputs. Processes are repeatable, either by design, as in a production process, or by habit. It's the way we do things around here. Because humans are creatures of habit, we repeatedly use given sets of steps to convert inputs into outputs. We just don't think of things that way. We often fail to recognize that we are following definable, consistent steps to make a transaction happen. There are both value-added and non-value-added costs associated with producing the results that we may or may not be aware of. Most formal process improvement efforts incorporate the use of the following three tools to define and improve work processes and work systems. First, we have process flow diagrams. These are flow charts that show the steps, decision points, and inputs and outputs that make up a given process. They are also called workflow diagrams. Value stream maps provide a big picture version of a process flow diagram, and they're often site or customer specific in focus. One value stream map contains multiple processes. There's also a process definition blueprint, and this is a table that helps you define your key processes, their customers, the requirements of those customers, and the key measures that should be used to gauge your progress in meeting those requirements. The leaders in most, if not all, high-performing organizations will tell you that they see all work as a process, just as Philip Crosby told us many years ago. They will also tell you that if you want to improve performance, you first have to define what needs to be improved. The process improvement process. Any process can be improved. In order for improvement to happen and be sustained, we first have to define the process steps involved, both for the existing process and the process as we would like to see it function. I created the Process Improvement DMAI loop to help show how the variety of process improvement tools and approaches are used during the different phases of process change. Improvement tools that officially fall into the Lean Tools category can be found at each of the 4 stages in the refinement loop. The remainder of the tools shown are from the original set of quality improvement tools. These tools were taught by Dr. Donald Dewar and others to quality circle teams at the start of the quality movement in the early 1980s. Once we have defined the process, we should measure and trend its performance over time for a mix of areas to obtain a fact-based picture of the results that are repeating these steps. What patterns of output are we really getting? What factors are affecting our process vital sign trends? It's tempting to jump from process or problem definition to the analyze step, but to do so without measuring first is wasteful and usually counterproductive. Only after defining, measuring, and properly analyzing a process can you expect to be able to begin selecting improvements. At this step, you need to define the most effective process improvements that will lead to better results that can be sustained over time. Skip a step or cheat on a step in this process, and you will compromise your improvement efforts. Well, we've reached the end of this first workbook section. At the end of each workbook section, you're going to see a team exercise. In this case, we have team exercise number 1, which is defining the expectations for the workshop. The objectives of this exercise is to define the key expectations you have of this class. Doing so helps ensure that the instruction can be directed at those needs that will benefit each participant the most. You can also use the questions on the slide to help you identify possible expectations for the time you will invest in this workshop. So let's all take about 5 minutes to begin by listing up to 3 of our own expectations of this class. What do we want to learn from this class? Once we've listed our individual expectations for the class, work as a team to define a list of consensus expectations for the class. And then we can look and see where the similarities exist, where there might be differences, who might have a unique learning need, but most importantly, what are the common learning needs for the class? We may ask some teams to share their work with the rest of the class, and if you do, please share your list of consensus expectations for this class and any observations you had about that consensus process. And this is just a warm-up team exercise, but it's important because it lets us know what we're shooting for here. So please define your expectations, define your team expectations, and share those. And I'll see you when we move on to the next module. Keep improving.